If you're a perfectionist, I want to ask you, how's your decision-making feeling recently? Not meaning to attack you too directly, but if you're like any of the high-achieving perfectionistic women that I know and work with, decision-making might not feel so great lately. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a tool I love and use often myself that can help you not only speed up your decision-making, it can also make you feel more secure in those decisions as well. I'm Dr. Rebecca, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I am on a mission to help high-achieving women get rid of anxiety, imposter syndrome, and perfectionism. And the tool we're going to talk about today is exactly one of the ones that I would recommend. A few months ago, I wrote a blog post about how perfectionism and anxiety can really impair your decision-making abilities. It not only makes your decision-making slower and clunkier, it makes it honestly much harder to make a decision at all. And once that decision is made, it makes you way less likely to be satisfied with it. I think so many of us have been stuck in that loop at least once, right? That I have to make the right decision. I have to make things go perfectly. If I don't make the right decision, everything's gonna kind of fall apart. It feels like it really makes you stuck, right? It doesn't make your decision making any easier. In fact, it makes it way harder. And one of the main problems that we're dealing with when we think about decision making in that way is we're using future data to inform current choices. We're trying to figure out this like equation to understand what's going to happen in the future and make the right decision. The problem is we don't have that data yet. And so right now in our perfectionistic brains, we keep thinking, okay, if I can just move this chess game ahead a few more steps, I can really figure out the best, most perfect, most optimal decision. And it just doesn't work that way. Whether you're thinking about a career move or buying a house or picking an outfit to go out that night, you need to make decisions based on current data, not future data. And all of the current data is just saying, oh no, I don't know. Oh no, we're not sure yet. And that, my friends, is where Satisficing comes in. What the heck is Satisficing? It's a really weird word. Satisficing is a portmanteau of satisfy and suffice. I think it's easiest to explain Satisficing by first, it's hard to say. I've said it for like 15 years and I still can't say it. It's easiest to understand Satisficing when we first think about its opposite, which is maximizing. So when we think about maximizing a decision, or we think about using maximizing as a decision-making tool, a maximizer will try to make a decision that produces the maximum benefit. So let's just take an example of like picking an outfit to go out to dinner. A maximizer will take a look at every single outfit in her closet. She'll pull out everything, she'll try things on, she'll take a selfie, she'll text her friends, she'll try to figure out the exact perfect outfit that's going to fit the mood and the temperature and the fanciness level and the season and the trends and everything, right? The Satisficer, on the other hand, is not trying to go for the optimal decision. She's trying to go for the closest satisfactory decision. So whereas the Maximizer is going to try on everything in her closet, the Satisficer is not just going to like blindly pick one. She's going to pick out a few good options, 3, 4, decide from there, and then move on. It feels satisfying and it suffices, right? It's good enough. As perfectionists, a lot of people are naturally maximizers. They want to have the most data. They want to check every option, and then they want to pick the best. And that's really understandable, right? Like, we have this one wild and precious life. We want to make sure that our decisions are in line with our values, and our decisions are putting us in the best light, and our decisions are not something we're going to regret later on. Again, though, the problem we have there is that we often can't actually base the goodness of the decision on the outcome because we don't know what the outcome's gonna be. It's data we don't have. And so instead, Satisficing says, I'm going to base this decision not on being confident that the outcome is perfect, but instead on feeling secure within myself to know that I have tried my best to make a good decision, and we're gonna move on. Now, when I present Satisficing as an option for many of my perfectionistic or anxious patients, most of them are like, are you frickin' kidding me? You want me to just like make a decision? right? What if it's not good? What if it's not the right one? And I want to come back to the idea that there is no right decision. None of the decisions are right. Maybe some of them could be wrong. Like if you're a vegetarian, don't order a burger is like kind of the wrong decision. In general, we don't know what the right decision is. And I think it's really important here to note that there's an enormous amount of positive psychology research on maximizers versus satisficers, not only based on how they feel about their decisions, but also based on like the goodness of the decision going forward. Maximizers are much less happy than satisficers with their decisions. You would think that having all of those choices and feeling confident that they'd like gone through every single thing would make them feel better about their ultimate choice. But in reality, more options lead to less enjoyment. Maximizers tend to dwell on disappointment much more than satisficers do. And I think that the key here is that maximizers are extremely disappointed when the product isn't perfect, when the outcome is not perfect. And the secret is that the outcome never is perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. And so maximizers spend a lot more time agonizing over a decision, and then later, once the decision is made, agonizing over whether it was the right decision. Satisficers, on the other hand, tend to just be kind of happy with what they got. It's not really necessarily always that simple, but overall, they have spent less of their one wild and precious life picking what they're gonna wear to dinner, and instead they are more grounded. They tend to be more in the moment. They were not late for dinner. They got to enjoy the dinner. They're not spending the whole dinner worrying whether the outfit is the right one. They're just in the moment. And one thing I really want to invite you to think about here is not whether you are a maximizer or you are a satisficer. These are just tools that you can use in the moment. And so in that way, I invite you to imagine what might it be like to satisfice, to use this not as an identity, but as a role that I will take on right then, or even just as a verb, I will satisfice. Think about small decisions that you can allow yourself to practice this skill. Also think back about times that you have maximized and whether or not you think that that felt worth it. Ever since I learned about satisficing in grad school, I just took it and ran with it. I love satisficing. I satisficed this paint color. I really wanted to do 75 samples and get the perfect blue. But honestly, I had a limited amount of time. I was trying to paint during the workday and I was like, let's get 5 samples. This one is fine. And it is. I like it. I satisficed my car. Did not look at very many models. That one is fine. I actually satisficed my house. We house hunted for a good amount of time. We found the one that we eventually bought and we said, you know what? This feels good. I don't think we need to keep looking. And what that does is it frees you up to enjoy the decision, or it frees you up to just not freaking think about it anymore, right? It frees you up to be present in your life rather than constantly just in your head. And I think that that is such a gift. If you are a super duper maximizer, or if you feel pretty good about satisficing, I'd love to hear it in the comments. If you have satisficed or maximized any of these decisions, if you've satisficed your car, or if you've maximized a lipstick choice, I would really like to hear about it. And I want to hear also mostly about what would it feel like to just dabble in satisficing, if it's something that's new to you. So hit me up in the comments. I want to know. And don't forget to head over to the blog too. There's a lot more information there about what anxiety and perfectionism do to decision making and how you can make that feel better for you in your life. If you liked this video, I've got another one over here I think you'll enjoy as well on a similar topic. And as always, click here to subscribe. If you're in Louisiana or Virginia and you're interested in booking a session with me as your therapist, you can click the link in the description to book a free 15-minute consultation. And for real, I really hope you try satisficing this week. Tell me about it if you do. I'll see y'all later. Bye.